This is the DIYer Gregory, and I wanted to introduce you to my new channel. I Can Do That, Yes You Can. Now, I wanted to help you plan and make your project, your hidden doors. Now, I'm gonna go over some things that I experienced when I made mine, and I wanna help you out, so that way you don't have those same issues that I had. Now, when you're ready, let's get started. When planning your project, there are things and details that you want to account for when you build your doors. Now, you don't have the mistake that I had when building it, that now you have to, oh my God, change everything. Not on my watch. So let's figure this thing out. Now, the first thing, location. Very important. Now, you can use an existing door or entryway, or you can find an area in your house that's dead space. Now, the problem about dead space is that you're going to have to make cuts. Now, that's not something you're comfortable with, then I would stay away from that. But maybe you have area under your steps, stairway that can work, or maybe a closet that you're not using that's on another wall. You could do that as well. I would just stick with a doorway that you currently have right now. Closet door. Next important thing, hinges. Now, there's different types out on the market. One, there's Murphy door hinges. There are heavy gate hinges. And then there's spin on the spot hinges. Now, Murphy door hinges are great, but they are expensive. Now, depending on your project, how much you want to put into it, this here was about $150. Now, I used gate hinges. Now, there's these type, which spin on an axis. Now, they're great, but you have to cut your frame. Now, I did that on one side and it just didn't sit well, and I didn't like these. So definitely invest in good hinges. Now, there's also another set called SAS. Now, those are great, but you have to cut a mortise. Now, a mortise is a recessed opening. Now, you need a router for that. Now, if you have a router, great. If not, I would stay away from those as well. Now, some things to think about when you build this. Weight. What are you going to put on there? Now, mine, we just have little knickknacks on there right now. But if you're going to do books or anything heavier, you want to take that into account as well. Now, I have this on wheels. Now, they're heavy duty wheels, which is great because it swings on the floor. Now, you want to take into account if the wheel is 1 inch or more, then you have to add that to the size of the bookcase. So in other words, if it's 1 inch, now you have to add a 1 inch to the bookcase. So it's raising it up. I didn't think about that on the one side. I tried to adjust and it made it too high and one was too low. So be consistent on your measurements and what you're using for that. Materials. I would use either MDF board, plywood, anything that's light but durable. Try to stay away from pressed wood. It will tend to sway or buckle, and it sometimes will tear when you use nails on it. So use wood that you're comfortable with, that you like, but not cheap. Space, very important. If you're using a closet, make sure to remember the depth of your bookcase. If your bookcase is more than a foot, foot and a half, now you're taking away a foot and a half of your space in your closet, your square footage. So take that into account. I saw one someone did where they were cutting off their bedroom. Now they're losing that square footage of the bedroom because they made it too deep. So that's something you might have to take into account of as well. Also, side note, any large box retailer home improvement will cut the material for you. Now, everyone makes mistakes. Don't expect them all to cut it to exactly to your size. Then you get home, now it doesn't work. So what I would do, try to have them cut it a little bit larger. And if you have the tools to cut it to the size that you need, I would do that as well. Now, without further ado, let's get started.
This door here is 5 shelves, 2 doors with a backing. Now you can purchase a mortise door kit from any big box retailer or any hardware store, and that will help you to install your mortise hinges. Now it's pretty simple. All you need is a heavy duty drill to the depth, and insert your hinges on both sides. Also, if you're using plywood and you're going to paint it, make sure you use a good primer. Plywood soaks in any type of paint, and it doesn't have the same consistent look as maybe the other wood that you're using if you're using MDF board. So definitely use a primer, maybe 1 or 2 coats before you start painting. Great idea. Here I'm dry fitting the 2 doors together side by side to make sure everything's buttoned up and no surprises down the road. And also I'm using angles or squares to make sure my shelves are level. That's kind of a neat trick to kind of help you make sure everything's level, because you definitely do not want anything to shift and change on you when you start nailing or screwing in the shelves to the boards. But other than that, it's a pretty simple process. It's nothing difficult to do. If I can do it, you can do it also. Also invest in good clamps. I purchased a couple from one location, and they kept twisting on me or they would not hold in place. So if you have to, spend a little more, but definitely get good clamps. Now we have everything painted, door handles installed, and also we installed beadboard on the back of the bookcase, and I also at this point installed the crown molding. Now the backing or beadboard you can pretty much get anywhere. You can even use refurbished wood, so whatever fits your decor, I would say go with that. Now the hinges that I'm using are at the same height or profile as the previous door hinges were, so you don't have to do anything out of the ordinary and just keep one from the top or the bottom. Now if this is more than 8 feet high, I would say use 3 hinges, but if not, this one is 6.5 feet high, then I was using 2. So shouldn't be a problem, but whatever you think it works best for you, more the better. And if you're doing 2 doors, you just repeat the process.